It's that time of week again here at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. We're back with our Fantasy Game Day Sunday Stars 10-minute tips, this time for NFL Week 15, where we bring you our hot tips, top tips. We've been pretty good recently with them as well for the UK's best, fastest growing NFL daily fantasy platform, Fantasy Game Day, which you can join by downloading the app now and using promo code COVER, all in capital letters. You will receive a free game after your first paid entry to the value of £7.50, which can be used on the variety of great games that Fantasy Game Day offer: the Sunday Star slates, the classic slates, the standalone ballers games as well, and the new Triple Crown game that's been going the last few weeks. Definitely give that a whirl. You've got to be 18 years or over in the UK, and of course, please gamble responsibly. Let's get to it. Let's get on with our top tips. Quarterbacks first, as always, from us. Joe, do you want to start off?
Yeah, I've got the main man. I think he's the second most expensive quarterback. It's Matthew Stafford versus Detroit. Obviously, if you listen to our preview, I'm hoping what Byron's bet comes true is 4 touchdowns for passing touchdown for Matthew Stafford. This Lions defense actually gives up the 5th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. And I think how the Rams have been in terms of their attacking quality, the Lions losing players, I think it's going to be a huge game for Stafford, and I think he's going to want to put on a show against his former team and get back to, I think it was 2-2. Byron said if he won this game against his former team. Stafford, yeah, I can see this being a huge game for Stafford, and with that extra money the past few weeks in a Fantasy Game Day, it's worth having a premium quarterback.
Yeah, good point. To just tip, the budget has gone up by £5,000 for, I think, the remaining weeks of the season. Usually 40, but now it's 45k. So thanks to Gimme and Co for the extra £5,000 to spend. Byron?
Yeah, use it wisely, but you don't need to necessarily shop at the top of the market. You can get Jackson Dart at quarterback 17 pricing. Since Jackson Dart became the starter, he's averaged 22.1 fantasy points per game, which would make him quarterback 2 on the season. Washington last week gave up 26.42 points to J.J. McCarthy. And over the last 5 weeks, they have given up an additional 3 points over average to every quarterback. So that'll be 25.1 if Jackson Dart hits that mark. I think it's all well set up for the Giants to go off here and Jackson Dart to continue his excellent fantasy rookie season at 6,600, quarterback 17 on the slate.
Yeah, I've got the other quarterback in that game. I've got Marcus Mariota. I think he impressed in his last start against the Broncos, the Commanders on that Sunday night football game. So I'm not expecting him to throw the ball 50 times like he did in that one for the Commanders. But the Giants, as you know, again, we were all expecting them to have that kind of that pass rush, and it'd be great, and it ultimately hasn't been. So I think Mariota can continue with another decent start. He also has the threat with his legs as well. Giants giving up 154 yards on the ground on average, only worse, only behind the Bengals, who give up a yard and a bit more on average a game. So Giants have been pretty putrid on the ground. I think Mariota can maybe escape and make some good games with his legs, potentially a touchdown or 2 on the ground as well, and enough in the air. I know Zach Ertz, probably Commander's most reliable target this year, obviously is out, sadly, with a hopefully not a career-ending knee injury, but I think the Commanders will have enough. I like them in the game as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take Marcus Mariota at £5,400. Let's move on to our wide receiver options. I'll double up and go back to back. Gimme Jackson Smith and Jigba. £9,000, obviously very, very expensive, right at the top of the market this week. Indianapolis Colts 30th or 29th against the pass, giving up 246 on average, but also just down bodies on defense massively. And they're going to have a 44-year-old bloke playing quarterback. And that just doesn't feel good for them going to Seattle, sorry. I'm going to take JSN. I think he can have a huge game. He's on record hunt as well. He's going to be tough now to get to 2,000 yards. But if he can go off here and have a huge game, probably need like closer to 200 yards, it becomes, he's got a chance maybe. Yeah, he's still tough. But yeah, he's on 14.28 and there's 4 to go. Is that 125 a game? Well, that's more than that, yeah.
150-ish.
Well, yeah. Yeah, all right. But JSN, probably going to be captaining him as well. 114. Wow, that's terrible. Oh, no, that's 5 games. 143, yeah. 150-ish, you're right. Go on, Byron. Smart
Wonderful. Didn't know you were handing off to there. Yeah, you think JSN's been good this season, and he certainly has been. Of course, he has. He averages 20. I'm on standard scoring. He averages 22.9 points per week. That is pretty impressive in PPR scoring, in fantasy game day scoring. Jamar Chase in his 9 games against the Bengals all time averages 24.4 points per game against the Bengals. His 2 games back with
Against the Ravens.
Who did I say?
Against the Bengals.
Fantastic. Against the Baltimore Ravens, he plays for the Bengals. Goodness me, your calculator skills have rubbed off on my noggin.
It's not my fault.
This would be outranking any number 1 wide receiver on a season since Cooper Kupp's incredible Triple Crown season. 24.4 points per game for Jamar Chase. He got 14 targets against the Bengals against the Ravens in Joe Burrow's first game back. He's averaging 11 targets in the last 2 games since Joe Burrow came back for the Bengals. I think he cooks here. Wide receiver 5 on the slate. I think he's going to be wide receiver and probably player 1. He's my captain pick this week. 7,200 Jamar Chase for the Bengals against the Ravens.
Well done. Good work, Byron. Joe?
Yeah, after what you two came up with, then I'll try to improve it. I've gone. It's a bit of a gamble this week. I've gone Ricky Pearsall for the 49ers at 4,200. Since he's come back off his injury, he's not really shown. He's only got 20 yards in the last 3 games in November. But I think with the rest week and playing the Titans, who are the 5th worst in giving up fancy points to wide receivers, I think it could be a big game for him. You could either go him or John Jennings, but because I went expensive at quarterback, you have to save money elsewhere. So Ricky Pearsall, he's one of them ways to boom or bust, where he could have a 100-yard game, or he could have, not a great game. But the Titans have given up 25 points against 9 of their 13 teams they played against in their fixtures, so they do give up points. So Ricky Pearsall could be a nice flex just at that cheap as your wide receiver.
Excellent. Flip us over then to our running backs and tight end options. Joe, do you want to carry on? Go through.
Yeah, why not? I've got Trevor Etienne at 6,400. The Jets are the first worst team in giving up fancy points. Sort of around 22 per game against running backs, and Trevor Etienne. I think the Jags offense is just starting to cook. I think it's going to be a big game for them, and I think they're going to hand him the ball. And we saw what happened with the Jets last week, and I think Etienne could just carry on that run, because it feels like he's the true number 1 running back there. There was a few weeks where it was split between him and Tootin, but it feels like the last few weeks they're leaning on Etienne more. I think he could get a couple of touchdowns, and at 6,400, I think it's a nice price.
Excellent. Byron?
Yeah, I'm staying in the same game. I'm going Brenton Strange at tight end, £3,000. I think he's a really nice price. He's tight end 14 on the slate. Since he came back for his last 3 games, he's got the 5th most receiving yards at tight end. Not the softest matchup, but I think this could be a bit of a cakewalk for the Jags. So yeah, I think Brenton Strange might get in the end zone, and at £3,000, I think he's going to get plenty of targets.
Excellent. I've gone for, I guess normally what we're seeing, somebody who would be a very premium price, but it's just been so terrible for the Eagles. I'm going to take a shot on Saquon for £6,000. Why not? Obviously, he had the big, I think, 50-odd yard rush for a touchdown on Monday, ran for 122. I'm not convinced the Eagles are going to be great against the Raiders, but everything just feels a bit broken about them. Do everything you can to get Saquon going. £6,000. And weirdly, the Raiders have been like middle of the road as well, actually, defensive. How bad they've actually been. They're actually quite middle of the road defensively. It's obviously the struggles on offense that have been the major issue. But maybe the Eagles found something on Monday night in the running game, because they didn't find anything with Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, Saquon Barkley at £6,000. I think it's just a price for the player sort of thing. He's got to have at least, one huge game at some point, hasn't he? Doesn't he? Can't get any worse. It can. Saquon at $6,000 for me. So, yeah, there are Fantasy Game Day 10-minute tips for NFL Week 15. Just a reminder, if you've not played, which is insane at this point, if you're listening to or watching this and haven't played it, and you can because you're in the UK, then go and sign up using promo code COVER and just do it now. You'll receive a free game to the value of £7.50 in your account once you have your first paid entry. So go download the app now and use promo code COVER. You've got to be 18 years or over in the UK. And of course, please gamble responsibly. And join us for our NFL Week 15 review show, which will drop on Tuesday. Go follow all the socials. Every social you can think of. We're on at GTW_GTC, and follow along for the podcast on all the usual podcast outlets or YouTube for the video version.